Hello, and welcome to the Passion on Purpose Leaders on Center Stage podcast. I am Steph, and I'm the owner and creative director at VIM. VIM's mission is to showcase the enthusiasm and passion of business leaders nationwide. I cannot wait to have you listen to the show and stick around. At the end, we talk a little bit about how you can be my next guest. All right, today we have Amber Weyrauch with Socially Inspired, also the host of the Inspired Biz podcast. Thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. I absolutely love that our world and so many industries have been growing with this respect and understanding on what you do and in your world, and that we've just come to acknowledge the importance of it. So I'm really excited to kind of hear more about how you approach things. I'll just kind of let you kick us off and just tell us a little bit about you and your business and what you do.
Yeah, so a little over a year and a half ago, I started Socially Inspired. And what really started out as a VA social media digital marketing one-stop shop for just me has now really evolved and grown over the last year and a half, where I have a team now that is helping me with that management side. I've been able to bring on some incredible experts in their areas that honestly just bring a great level of quality to our clients, and they are able to really just benefit our clients in different areas such as Pinterest, social media, Reels, and TikTok, all of the different areas that are now such a important place for entrepreneurs and business owners to show up, right? And so that is really the day-to-day management side of our business. And then now, as my team has really been able to take the reins on a lot of that, it's paved the way for me to step into the coaching side, which is something that I've been passionate about in, my 9-to-5 previous life. I did more of that kind of work. And so it's been really fun to get to take the skill set of social media and strategy and building something with these business owners and then move that into the coaching side of Socially Inspired.
That's awesome. And so when you say, right, we have your team who's helping with the many aspects and facets of social, and then there's also you being able to coach and work with clients on a coaching level. Is this one-to-one? Is this group? Are they a blend of the two segments of the company, or how does that look?
Right now, it's one-on-one. I do have goals to move into some cohort and group coaching. That's something that I'm working with my coach on right now to really build out and develop the launch for that. One of the big goals that I have, though, is to really be able to move the management side of things so that it is sustainable and has a really great day-to-day operation so that I can focus more on that cohort and that group coaching. So right now it's more of a one-to-one basis. And while I would say there's definitely some blending between the two, I have clients that lean into me for coaching because, let's face it, they come and they don't necessarily know what next steps to take with their social media, what platforms they should be on, what steps will be best for them. And so there's some of that natural coaching in the management side. But most of my coaching clients are just coaching at this point, not necessarily on the other side.
And business coaching specifically, right?
Yes. So specifically helping with their strategic outlook on how to move the needle in their business using social media and digital marketing. So a lot of them come in and they know they need to be on social media. They know that they need a plan for it. It's not just, it's more curated now. It's not just throwing something up on your Instagram. There is intentionality and strategy behind what you post, when you post, how often you post. And so those kinds of things are the elements that I would help coach them through, help them come up with that plan. And then also understanding what it looks like to have a sales funnel and to move people through their offers. A lot of times they know what they have to offer. They know their message, but they don't know how to necessarily present it in a way that is going to bring the consumer, their client, their ideal audience into that. So that's another thing that I help my coaching clients really build out. Now, if someone came to me and said, okay, now I need help with the execution of it, we could help them with that at Socially Inspired, but it would be more about on the coaching side, helping them just really identify what is your offer? What are you bringing to the table? What makes you unique in this industry and in this marketplace? Because you're up against other competitors. So that's the kind of thing that I would help with on the coaching side.
Yeah, and isn't it pretty fascinating? And I mean this with the utmost respect for all of us, myself included, but isn't it pretty fascinating how answering some simple questions like, what do you do? How do you do it? And why do you do it? How challenging that can be for people?
Well, it can be because I think that it's all locked inside of us, right? We do have it. Everything that we need to build a successful business is already inside of us.
Yeah.
However, we don't always know how to access it. We don't always know how to unlock it, and we don't always know how to then take it and form it in a way that actually feels like a solid offer, right?
Yeah.
So really getting to the purpose, what is my why? What's my true north? What am I connected to? And then building it out from there is something that I think every business owner probably needs to sit down and do, whether they do it with a coach or they do it on their own. You've got to have that why, that you know what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're 100% right that everyone knows those things. They're in there. It's just kind of pulling that out. And then once you've pulled that out, well, what do I do with it?
Right.
And
Exactly.
how do I use this in my social or in my brand or throughout my marketing, right? So
Mhm.
I love, we have very overlapping and similar approaches to what we do, but in different ways. I love that.
I love that too.
So passion and purpose, right?
Mhm.
You had kind of alluded to prior to Socially Inspired, you had always kind of done some of this management and coaching and growth
Mhm.
and strategic side of things. So where does this passion come from to do Socially Inspired and go out on your own and bring people under you? Like, where's that come from?
Well, it was a very large pivot, at least to the outside. I feel like internally it was not as big of a pivot for me, but from the outside looking in, it was. So prior to this, I have my background, my degrees are in psychology and counseling. And then I spent the last, well, more than a decade in a actually vocational ministry role at a local church and was raising up leaders. I was writing curriculum. I was teaching. I was helping with structures and systems within that church. But so it's interesting because when I made the decision to leave and to start my own business, the social media business, I had so many people who were just really confused at that change, at that shift. And it was hard to explain to them that so much of the skill set that I used in that previous life was very applicable. But the only thing that did not change, or the main thing that did not change, was that my heart there was to help people,
Yeah.
was to serve, was to see people succeed in the path that they were on. And there really wasn't much different when I started Socially Inspired. My heart and my passion and my purpose is I want to see my clients succeed. I always say to them, your business becomes my business. I love, and this is one of the things you'll see it on my website, you'll see the language everywhere. At Socially Inspired, we link arms with other entrepreneurs to help them run harder and faster after their goals. And so our goal is to not just be task doers, but to really come alongside you and support your vision, support your purpose, and help you knock it out of the park. And so that's really, that was no different than when I was in the ministry world. It was the same type of approach and the same type of heart. It's just pointed in a different direction now.
Yeah, I love it. And I love too that you had the knowledge to go with something like social media, right? You knew your larger passion was to get to this stage that you're in now with coaching
Mhm.
but that this is a path that also I can help. I can still fulfill my purpose and my passion of helping others and then slowly grow that so that I can have these. Was that intentional or is that just how it happened?
Initially, the main reason I went this route, we came out of COVID. I
Yeah.
have three daughters that I absolutely love being around, and we kind of started wrapping up this time where we were all home together, and I realized how that desire to be present with them was just overriding everything. I wanted to be able to build something that allowed me to be there for everything. And so honestly, that was a huge driving force with making the decision to really go this route where I could be working virtually anywhere.
Yeah.
And but then as I really started getting into the growth part of it, I realized that there was so much potential to help entrepreneurs because they come into this and they have a dream, they have a passion, and they also have a belief that they're going to have to do it by themselves.
Mm,
I think we think that. And I think that what I do is often come alongside them and then give them this new perspective that entrepreneurship does not have to equal solopreneurship.
right.
You can be in community with people. It can be collaborative. And that is something that, honestly, after the fact, I realized like, oh, there's a secondary thing here that I didn't even know was going to end up being the structure and the passion, but it is definitely my passion.
I love that you had that like unintentional journey and then it kind of just came to be because, well, not that it was unintentional, but right, it just kind of came through that.
Yeah.
Because one of the exercises I have my clients, my one-on-one clients do is I take away whatever the thing is, right? So they're a pizza company. Okay. I take pizza away. You can no longer sell or make pizza. It's been banned. And then I ask them, what's your why? Right.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden, this like, oh, my thing is gone, or my thing is shifting or has to shift. But I can now realize why I did it because that thing is gone. And for you,
Mm.
it's like you realized this is what I really love out of this. But wow, I can also do that. Why I can also help others, lift others up, see them grow through this other facet of
Mhm.
my business.
Well, and it also helped me, then it really helped me refine my messaging.
Mm,
So the specific pain points that I speak to when I'm on social media or when I'm sending out my message is not, hey, just hire me for your social media, or hey, hire us to help you with your strategy, or hey, hire me for coaching. It's me coming in and saying, hey, I know that this can be a lonely journey
mm.
and you don't have to go it alone. We can help with that. We can come alongside you and help you really identify what your dreams are, what your next steps are. We can come alongside you and help you execute those things at a level of excellence that will set you apart from other people in your industry. And I think that it didn't really change the message. The message, I'm still selling social media and digital marketing, right? Or I'm still selling coaching. But the purpose behind it and the way that I talk about it, it shifted because my mindset shifted around it.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue into my next like prompt, which is the businesses that I see, right, as a consumer, or the businesses that I work with that are really thriving, especially in the coaching industry or social media industry. They're very intentional and very talented at their brand and getting that brand out there, both visually and message wise. What was the journey like for you to do this so well, to convey your passion? Because a
Mhm.
lot of times it's people are just, well, here's my logo and this is what we do, and kind of struggle with getting that element out, the passion element. How have you been so successful with that?
I think part of it was being willing to continue pivoting. The whole that word pivot, became a really big catchphrase, right? In
Right.
2020, 2021.
Yeah.
And I feel like it almost got overused and then people were like, oh, shying away from it. In my mind, we aren't done. I'm not done pivoting. I'm not done growing and I'm not done changing. And so I hit a place where, I had established my logo and I had established my brand, but I had never really done the foundational pieces underneath it, right? It was just a logo, it was just a name, it was whatever. And when I really stopped and I started thinking about what do I want my brand to convey? What do I want my messaging to be? What do I want when someone comes to my social media page or my website? So I actually did a pretty massive rebrand at the beginning of this year
That's
where
awesome.
I identified that, when someone comes to my website or to my social media page, I want my from the colors of my page to the imagery that they see to the words that they read to everything, I want it to convey leadership. I want it to convey a sense of authority. I want it to convey the sense that they can put their confidence in me. And I looked at it from all angles to figure out, am I communicating that? Is my message communicating that? My brand colors communicating that? All of it. And so I think that, yeah, we have to be willing to make the shift as we grow and as the industry grows. Because if we stay stuck in that place of, well, this is my brand and this is what I do, but I'm not willing to evolve, you're missing a piece of it. You're gonna fall behind.
Absolutely. One of in our brand books that we do for our one-to-one clients, in the very back, the very first section of the back, it is several pages that we call brand evolution. From the get-go, I am talking to clients, even though we are doing your brand for right now, you're going to evolve and I want you to evolve. The last thing you want your brand to do is limit you from evolving. Right? And so we talk a lot about brand evolution because we are naturally growing every single day, every single minute, second of the day, we are growing in some way, shape, and form, which means if we're doing that, it would be foolish not to recognize that everyone around us is doing that. And so your business also should be doing that. I just love how in tune you just instinctually are with that.
I think, I don't know if I'm that in tune with it. I recognized, maybe I am. I really don't know. I recognized that where I wanted to go, I had a vision for where I wanted to go. And I recognized that where I was and where I wanted to be, there was a pretty big gap. And I figured, I've got to start closing that gap. And the only way to do that is to be intentional about it. And so whether it's going to the drawing board with your branding and you need to figure out if do the colors communicate what I want? Does my message communicate what I want? Or it's just even going back to that purpose and saying, am I still aligned with the purpose that I started out with? Both of those things have to be something that you're constantly coming back to and just evaluating it. I'm not saying throw it all out, just evaluating. Right. Do I need to make a shift?
I love that, evaluating. That's a really great word that doesn't feel so like the word change scares people. Pivot, right? We got overused. And so we didn't like it anymore because it felt too jarring. But evaluating and evolving feels to me very purposeful and slow and steady. To me, I'm a very, very big slow and steady wins the race kind of person. So
and it feels natural because we are evolving beings. I hope that I never stop learning. And that's really something that I'm like a forever student. I'm always looking to understand more, to know more, to gain more knowledge. And I think that with knowledge, we're going to naturally evolve because we can't stay the same. I hope I wouldn't stay the same. And so if you're an owner or you're a brand expert, whoever it is, that with more knowledge comes evolution. You're going to continue to change.
Absolutely. I love that. Gosh, well, if my listeners are really loving what you're saying, they are looking to make a shift in your business, or you're stagnant in your business, right? And there's more you want to offer and you just don't know how to get that out. Amber would be a phenomenal person to work with. I know you have an offer, but also maybe share the offer and also let my audience know how to get a hold of you if they're interested in more information.
Yeah, absolutely. So I absolutely would love to talk with anyone about their social media needs or even their coaching needs. Like maybe you're in a place where you need to move the needle, but you've kind of hit an obstacle. And I would love to talk with you about that. You can hit up my website, sociallyinspiredmanagement.com. But I also know that some of you might be listening and thinking, okay, I know I need to make some changes in social media, but I'm not quite ready to pull the trigger on having someone do that for me. I have a free offer. It's 5 ways to optimize your social media. And it would be something that you could take those tips and put them into place right away. And so I would love for you to check that out. It's through my website, or I think the link will probably be here that you can check it out. So yeah, that would be the way to find me or the way to access that information.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely make sure in the show notes that we put your sociallyinspiredmanagement.com. And I would imagine that's a pretty easy offer to find on the site.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So we'll definitely make sure that people know how to get a hold of you. Thank you, Amber, so much for coming on and
Absolutely.
sharing how you got to where you are. I just love it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I love opportunities to connect with other people who are living their passions. So this was great for me too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And until next time. Steph here. Thank you so much for listening to the Passion on Purpose Leaders on Center Stage podcast. If you are a successful business owner and you lead your business with passion, we'd love to feature you on our show. We'd love to share with the world what makes your business great and how you have intentionally led passion throughout your business. Also, if you got any value or little tidbits from this episode, please take a minute to screenshot the episode and share it on your favorite social media platform. Be sure to tag us so we can properly thank you, and we love deepening our connection with our listeners. We are regularly putting out new episodes to feature leaders such as yourself who lead with passion on purpose. So be sure to subscribe to our show so you don't miss any future episodes. For more episodes, guest information, or details on the show, please visit getvim.com/passion on purpose. That's getvim.com/passion on purpose. Once again, I'm Steph. I am the owner and creative director at Vim, and thank you for listening to the show.